At this point in our drawing, we have a block plan that has been completed. We also have completed drawing in some walls. And in this view here within Revit, you'll see that the block plan is kind of superimposed over where we finally wound up drawing our walls. So we have an idea now of where our walls are going to be, and we can now take a look at some other tools to work with refining our space plan even further. Another powerful tool for space planning is called the room element tool. So what is a room element tool? Well, basically it helps you set up additional information that you can use in schedules. More importantly, you can set up some very fine color diagrams. It contains information just like the mass elements did. However, we can then compare that to the block plan. So you're going to get information on area, perimeter, and volume. The other thing that it does that the block plan is a little bit not too capable of doing is you can add in room names and room numbers. The other thing that comes up is that we've already gone ahead and created a room schedule. In Revit, we've gone ahead and put together initially the space program. And you'll notice here that areas are shown here as not placed. With using the room element, we can take advantage of this and start using the room element to place rooms, and it'll start filling out this schedule. So what happens with room elements is that, first of all, understand that the room element is what we call room bounding. In other words, it's looking for some sort of boundary. Boundaries are going to be walls, floors, ceilings, columns, curtain systems, and one that we're going to look at also is room separation lines. The other thing about room elements is that you'll find that floors and ceilings are pretty useful to define heights. For architects, they're interested in volume. We're interested in heights in some cases. You can place rooms in a floor plan as standalone elements. However, you have to finally move them into a location, otherwise you're going to lose them. And you'll get this warning that tells you that you haven't finished placing a standalone room. We'll show an example of how that works. In Revit, as you see here, we are on a new view, which is called the first space plan. The first space plan basically has the walls that we picked up from our block plan and put them into place. So our next task now is to add in a room element. The room element tool is located up on the architecture tab. You'll see a panel here that's called room and area. What we're looking for, first of all, is the first icon, which is room. You can also use for a shortcut key RM. When you pick it, what comes up, you'll notice here on my mouse, is the room element tool. But before we go ahead and place it, it's important to take a look at what you have up here in the options bar. There's a number of things that are going on here. Number one, notice that it's asking you for an upper limit. We have a number of limits here that we can go ahead and pick. All right, right now, first floor is fine. We have an offset of 10 feet, which means that we're only going to go from the first floor 10 feet up. We're going to not worry about the tags currently. We'll play with those in a little bit. But under room, take a look at this. Remember on the schedule, all those things that we had put in before are now here. So if we wanted to go ahead and put in the president's office, we can pick it and then come over here and place the tool. And you'll see here that the president has now been placed. We can also come in and pick up other ones as we go along because I'm still in here. So let's pick up men's restroom and I'll put him there. And we'll pick up also the women's restroom. And notice that as I'm doing this, it's lining up the tags for me. You'll see the little tracking line that shows up. I'll pick up a small conference room, put him there, and we'll pick up the large conference room and put him there. Now, once you're done, all you have to do is hit modify. So we've gone ahead and placed a number of rooms in here. I'm going to zoom out and we'll place a couple more in here, and then we'll take a look at how to tag. So I'm going to pick up a room, and I'm going to take and put in a lobby, and we'll pick up the next one, which is reception. And now you might notice something a little bit different here. Remember I said this was room bounding? Well, we're going to have to not place this one here because we got a problem. So we're going to kind of forget him for now. We're going to look at how to fix that in a bit. But you'll notice that it's looking at everything else other than the reception area. So we're going to hit escape at this point. And you notice here I put him out here. And you'll see that this room bounding element needs to be placed somewhere. And this is what we were talking about. You get the warning box. You come in here and you can place it maybe over here. But notice that it's changed a little bit. So I would have to come in and give this a new name. If I don't like any of this, I can always come in here and pick it and delete the element. You'll get a warning box and it goes away. So you have a little bit of flexibility to go ahead and do that. So we placed a couple elements in here. You'll see here that we have some things in. Let's just take a look at what happened. Let's come down here and look at Space Program under Project Browser. And you'll notice that it started to fill in some information. And remember the difference? You can see here that according to our plan, we're either over or under quite a lot on some of these issues here. So we would look at that and analyze it to make sure whether or not this is something that we'd want to go ahead and do. So using the Room Element tool is just another tool that you can go ahead and use for tagging your floor plan. And at the same time, it gives you the names and numbers of which can be changed.